Okay, so let's talk about what it actually means to be smart. And spoiler alert, it has almost nothing to do with your report card. We're going to dive into a little psychology to figure out how our brains are really wired. What are the patterns that separate just knowing stuff from, actually being intelligent? So, right off the bat, let's get real. Does getting straight A's mean you're a genius? And if you bomb a test, does that mean you're not smart? I mean, we all feel that pressure, right? But thinking that way is a total trap. It's such a tiny, tiny piece of the puzzle of how our minds really work. Yeah, and psychology actually has a lot to say about this. Real intelligence, it's not about cramming facts for a history final. It's way, way deeper. It's about how your mind processes everything around you. You can think of it like your brain's operating system, the software that's always running in the background, trying to make sense of the world. So the real question is, how do you know if that system is running smoothly? All right, first up, connecting the dots. This is all about seeing the link between cause and effect. I know it sounds super basic, right? But honestly, this is the bedrock of how we learn pretty much anything. So here's what's going on in the brain. When that connection is weak, your actions and what happens because of them feel totally disconnected. It's like they're two random events. And if you can't see that link, how are you ever going to learn from your mistakes or even from the things you do right? It kind of feels like life is just happening to you instead of you being in control. Think about it like this, and we've all been there. You spend the whole night before a huge test scrolling through your phone instead of studying. The next day, you totally bomb it. Now, if you don't connect those two things, I didn't study, so I failed, then that bad grade just feels like bad luck, like the universe is against you. You missed the whole point, the actual lesson there. Okay, moving on to sign number 2. This is all about following a plan. When you have to do something with multiple steps, like trying to follow a recipe, or even worse, building the IKEA furniture. This taps into a whole different part of your brain's processing power. So in psych speak, this is all about something called working memory. The easiest way to think about it is like the RAM on your computer or your phone. It's that temporary mental space where you hold all the info you need right now. But if that space gets overloaded, if you're trying to hold too many steps in your head at once, the whole thing just crashes. Okay, look at this. A science lab. Step 1, get the beaker. Easy. Step 2, add the blue stuff. Got it. But if your working memory is already full by the time you're trying to heat it up to 50 degrees, wait, what was step 1 again? And what am I supposed to do after this? See, the whole experiment just falls apart. Not because the steps are hard, but because you can't hold the whole sequence in your head. All right, sign number 3, we're shifting gears now from doing tasks to dealing with people. This one is all about reading the situation, understanding what's actually going on around you. And let's be clear, we're not talking about some deep philosophical debate here. This is about misinterpreting simple, everyday stuff. It's like you can see all the individual pieces. You see the people, you hear the words, but you just can't put them together correctly to get the real meaning of what's happening. This is a classic high school example. Your friend is being really quiet. The fact is, they're quiet. But your brain jumps straight to, oh no, they're mad at me. What did I do? You're completely missing the real context. Maybe they just had a terrible day or got some bad news. You saw the what, they're quiet, but you totally got the why wrong. And this, right here, this is the main point of everything we're talking about. It's the huge difference between just knowing something and actually making sense of it. Look, anyone can memorize that the big football game is on Friday. That's just knowing. But making sense is understanding why it matters. It's the rivalry game. It's for the playoffs. The whole season is on the line. See the difference? One is just a piece of data. The other is real understanding. Okay, let's knock out the last 2 signs together because they're really connected. It's all about rolling with it. How well you can adapt and, think for yourself. So sign 4 is about difficulty adapting. Like if there's a surprise fire drill and the whole class schedule gets messed up, do you just roll with it or does it totally throw you for a loop? And sign 5, this is a big one. It's about relying on other people to think for you. Like you can't even decide what to get for lunch without your friends telling you what's good. It's about that ability to think for yourself. So let's pull all this together. What does it all mean? We've talked about 5 different things, but they're all pointing to one big idea. The real meaning of smart isn't your GPA. It's all about how well your mental operating system is running. So what was that list again? It was connecting cause and effect, following a plan, reading the situation, adapting when things change, and thinking independently. These are the real building blocks. This is the stuff that matters. And look, if you remember only one thing from this whole thing, make it this. Intelligence isn't just about knowing stuff, it's about making sense of it. Having facts in your head is great, but that's just raw data. True intelligence is being able to process that data into something that actually means something. Which leaves us with one last really big question to think about. Are these mental patterns we've been talking about just fixed? Are you just born with them? Or is it more like a muscle? Is it something you can actually train and improve over time? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.